magical schoolgirl, a barbaric elf, a stunning ghost. Costumes are always fun, but they can be expensive. Going to a party, convention, or anything that requires a costume is always fun to dress up to. If you're ready for a new cheap idea, then I challenge you to follow along to this. I'm going to teach you how to make armor out of inexpensive tools. Let's begin by discussing the materials that are needed, how to make the armor, and finally, how to always change it up. EVA foam is a cheap, common, useful crafting supply. It can be used for a load of projects. Its squishy yet firm consistency make it easy to cut, glue, and even bend. A website dedicated to creating armor named Punish Props Academy, updated 2018, stated, "If we're making armor and weapons quickly, we use foam, which is the most used material. Next, contact cement, a cheap glue that will hold strongly all the materials together and is very easy to work with. Scissors and box cutters to cut out items, a hot gun for people who are familiar with construction equipment, or, like in my case, a normal hairdryer, and of course, pens to trace out an outline. All these materials can be found in any craft store, supercenter, or even a hardware store, making it accessible and cheap. Furthermore, you will need one more thing, a pattern. Patterns are important. They're like cheat sheets for your design. This will ensure your upcoming layout does not have any hiccups that will ruin your finished product. Patterns can be found anywhere. You can even make them yourself. If you're creating them yourself, although tedious, there are several ways you can do this. I would recommend wrapping your body in ceramic wrap, using tape to wrap the part, and then drawing the design on top of your body. However, you can always take the easy route and print out a free template off the internet where it's available by several users. Now that you have the materials, let's begin the process. First, grab the pattern and lay it on foam and trace it out. Some patterns require to double trace it to complete your design, especially if they are large. Regardless, once you have completed the tracing, the cutting begins. Depending on the thickness of the foam will indicate what to use. If it's skinnier, you use scissors. If it's thicker, you use box cutters. Cut around the design and complete all the pieces by marking the details the pattern requires. So for example, this out of this. Okay. At this moment, you should have a ton of foam lying around and making it look like a mess, but thankfully we're not done yet. Contact cement can be quite harmful in an unventilated area, so before you do this, make sure you have air flowing through. Grab the glue and with thin coats, line the sides of the foam that are going to connect, allowing to air dry for 5 to 10 minutes until it's glossy. Once there's a sheen, connect the foam pieces together, making sure they are aligned perfectly, and repeat the gluing process until the armor is complete. Now you can add embellishments, color it, or wear it as it is. The following can be repeated for many armor pieces you want to create out of foam. So like this. This is of course kind of colored. Anyway, now that you made your first foam project, what can you do next? Any armor that you make can be inspired by different pop culture or historic references you want. An example of this would be from the website of Punish Props Academy, updated in 2018, where they state, "We make our costumes from a wide range of materials with the ultimate goal of capturing the silhouette of the character." Of course, this can be done at home too. Websites that can help this inspiration furthermore is Pinterest or Instagram, as they provide visual ideas to follow along. Finally, the coloring job you create or add on will decide to add on will give it that unique personal touch. Anything from spikes to modifying patterns is important to create the final product. Finally, the coloring job you create. By the way, if you decide to paint it, foam can be a bit hard to paint, but there's ways to get around it. For example, any good base, you need to prime it first, and then you can choose to paint it. The primers can be Mod Podge, Flexi Paint, paint primer, polymer resin, and just play with the finishes until you get something that's unique and that you like. Now that you've learned how to create foam armor, the materials you need, and how to continue using this knowledge for the future, hopefully this will inspire you to explore other crafts with foam or make more armor for different occasions. While the process can be long, you will always get the satisfaction that you made it yourself and look awesome wearing it. This season, make the costume you always wanted, and remember to armor up.
Hey!